Explore the vibrant arts and culture landscape of Michigan, a state with a thriving creative ecosystem that has birthed iconic movements like Motown and the Purple Rose Theater. Home to legendary musicians, writers, and artists, Michigan boasts a rich tapestry of cultural heritage known worldwide. Michigan Creates is a podcast series that will connect listeners with gifted artists and cultural institutions that are nurturing Michigan's vibrant creative landscape. As you may know, I hold world music musicians a little bit deeper into my heart because I'm one myself. So it's always fun to talk to somebody that's doing that, that's trying to preserve music, but really take it to a different level. And that is what Xiao Dong Wei has done. As a matter of fact, her picture is behind me because we were able to perform together during the pandemic for the Kennedy Center. That was absolutely a lot of fun. So we're going to talk to Xiao today about the type of music that she performs. She's a Chinese musician. She lives here in Michigan now, and she performs not only traditional Chinese music, but she's taking it to a different level. So we're going to talk to Xiao very shortly, so don't go away. Xiao, this is great to talk to you today. I've been looking forward to this one for a long time, not only because I've known you for a long time, but you are an amazing musician and you've got a rich history. And we're going to talk about the different instruments and you're going to demonstrate some of this today. So thank you for coming on my program today.
Thank you for having me.
So let's go back to childhood. I mean, you're kind of a child prodigy as an artist. You weren't born here in Michigan, but now you are in Michigan. Xiao, talk to us about your background growing up. Where were you born?
I was born in the North China near Russia border. It's called Heilongjiang province.
Okay.
So I was born in the coal mine. My dad was um, working for the union and taking care of the music and dance troops.
Right. Talk a little bit about that. I read that in your biography that your dad was doing a little bit of that. And obviously that's how you got interested in playing music. But what was your dad doing exactly? How was he doing that?
So he work, he writes articles and then be the leader of the ensemble, music and ensemble, and is a part of the workers union.
Okay.
And so uh, he did actually. I just was going through my dad's old document because he passed away last year.
Mm,
So I saw his photos, like they were in the movie, all the movies they were participated, and he was like even performing, on stage. It was so funny. I see my dad doing that. But
wow.
anyways, he's yeah in that little town. He's a leader of that, and my dad is famous for can play multiple instruments, and that's how I get started. I guess playing
Okay.
more than one.
So was that did you have to play music or was it just a desire that you had? I mean, was it a given because your father was a famous musician that you were going to eventually become a famous musician yourself?
So what happened is my dad was inspired by his coworker, one of his coworker, who does calligraphy. So he
Okay.
took his daughter to Beijing to meet some of those masters, and he's famous for writing, calligraphy. And then one of his coworkers said, "Why don't you do something with your daughter? Because he's taking his daughter to Beijing, Oh, that's good stuff. You're so good at what you do. Why don't you pass down, this treasure?" So I said, okay. So he was inspired by them, and he decided to try. Because I have three sisters,
Okay.
and one of them actually at the time was at my grandparents, far away from our home. But one older sister, I'm the third one, and my second older sister, my dad said, okay, then we'll start with her. She was 8 years old, and I
Mhm.
was five. At that time, still, I think 5 is a little too young, I guess. So we start. So let's start with you, sister.
Okay.
So one day she just decided to do that, and that was very interesting story. Like my whole neighborhood witnessed that happening because my dad like the electronic stuff, and then he put a tube TV together
Okay.
himself. So and our neighbor came to see the TV, and then after dinner they come to my house, watch. And then in the summertime, we had our back window open, house, so people windowsill, they were looking at it. And then my dad said, "Oh, tonight we're not going to watch TV. I'm going to teach my daughter." So he started teach my older sister, and we started with the erhu, the two-string Chinese instrument, Chinese violin. And we only have two strings, but these two strings are separated by the bow. So the bow is tracking in between the two string. We could do this way, this way. So we call it inside is towards yourself, and the
Right.
outside is toward the audience. So my dad, because you started with the bowing and okay, use your wrist, so that's good stuff. And then he said, okay, let's play 2 times outside, 2 times inside, or 1 time this and 1 time that. So he just instructed her to do that. And she doesn't get it. She's like very slow to react. Uh, and then I was watching, and like, that looks so easy.
Right. So you were
So
learning just by watching your dad teaching your sister.
yeah, so just the first time, right? I was just there. I said, "Well, that looks easy." So everybody laughed at me because all my neighbors were there, right? And I'm like, "Oh, look, it's so." I was I was so cute, and I was laying on the bed. It's like, "Oh, just like doing this," and this is well, easy. You try it. They were like challenging me. Okay, so I jump up, and then I tried it, and that was it.
That was it. You were hooked.
That was
So,
it. Like,
so
okay,
that was
so.
pretty ingenious of your father. So your father basically brought the audience to the house,
They
right?
came to my house every evening after dinner. They want to watch a TV because they don't have a
Right.
TV
Right.
at time. So
So you're the only
I just watch
television around.
in
Everybody
that
comes to
neighbor.
your house, and then one
That's
day
street.
your dad just says, "Hey, we're gonna change this up a little bit."
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
that's terrific marketing at that point.
Yeah.
So we're gonna. I want to talk a little bit more about the instrument in a little bit, but okay. So now you're drawn to this instrument at a very young age, and I'm assuming your dad saw the potential, and then maybe focused on you then to make
Yes.
sure you had the.
Mhm.
How did you then learn the instrument?
Then yeah, he will, he work at daytime. He go to work. After he came back from work, he'll teach me before, our dinner on the table. And after dinner, if we have time, we'll do some more. So yeah, we read the Chinese notation, which
Hmm.
is um, numbers. So the Chinese
Oh,
notations are do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7.
right.
We use that, and then we use octave. We use dot on top of the note, 1 dot, 1 octave, 2 dot, 2 octave, stuff like that.
Okay.
So we start learning the reading the music and then practice every day, and that's how it started.
Wow. And then fast forward. I mean, did you know you always wanted to be a musician for a career?
Fast forward, no, not really, but it's always kind of easy for me, and but I didn't like to practice.
Oh, you
So
didn't? Who
no,
does? Who really does?
I didn't met a person. He said he loved the practice. I said, okay, you are one of the million.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
know I
know,
don't like to practice.
yeah, we all started loving it, like it at least, and then we didn't like practice, for a while at least. Now I love practice.
Right.
So after years, change, you have the true love for it, and then you do it. So that's how I started. And then after um 5 years, when I graduated about to graduate from the elementary school, my dad, okay, it's a time to go see the master. Let's go meet the masters, is to see if you are, you know, you should go for
Yeah.
professional. So when I was 10, my dad took me to Beijing and Shanghai to meet famous people.
So
Yeah.
the masters told your father,
Mhm.
Xiao's got something here and
Yeah.
really needs to continue. So what does that mean then for you? Where did you go next?
So the next year, then we prepare for the next year for the exam for the music school.
Okay,
So
to get into
that's
music school.
yes.
Okay.
So
Right.
my dad always have that. He's just a perfectionist, and he want the best, and he want the best for himself. He aim really high, and he set the goal for us really high, for
Right.
me especially. So he said, "Okay, we're going to the Central Conservatory in Beijing."
Yeah.
Or else, nothing else. Like, okay, maybe Shanghai, because Shanghai is really, really good. So
Right.
the south is Shanghai, north speaking. So that's our goal. And we set our goal and we went for it next year. So we
You
took the
got it.
exam and I got in next
So
year.
would this be the equivalent of like Juilliard in New York City? You know, that
That's
type of
what they say. Yeah.
conservatory? Yeah. Okay. So you go to conservatory, you increase your knowledge and expertise in playing music. At what point did you then come to Michigan? How did that happen?
So when I was graduating, uh, there is a student movement,
Okay.
Tiananmen Square. There's political things happening,
Right.
and so I'm from Heilongjiang province, like I told you, is the border cities,
Hmm.
border to Russia. So that year, new policy came out. It's really fade. Like just that year, right? They come out when I graduated, they come a new policy. They said all the students from the border province, they need to go back to where they came from,
Oh,
which
okay.
they never did that. And so my ID card being taken away from Beijing without me, my against my will. I want to stay in Beijing to the orchestra, even though there's a two top orchestras in Beijing want me.
Right.
They can't have me because I don't have the ID cards. In China, when your ID cards go, uh,
That's it. You
especially
can't
at that
work.
time, that's where you go.
Right.
So
Okay.
they take my ID card back to the Heilongjiang province or near Russia, and then I have to go back to work there.
So
They
how did that get you to America? Like how did you
so
eventually come here?
yeah, so I have a friend who worked for American businessmen.
Okay.
Then she's a musician from my same school, and one day she said, "You wanna come for dinner with me? My boss is paying for it. Come on, eat."
Sure. Yeah.
And okay,
Free
I
eats.
didn't see her for for several years. So okay, my good friend. I went, and then is American business, and then he said, "You want to come to America?" Like, okay, I got nothing to lose here. You're like,
Yeah.
why not? So that's how I came.
Wow. So did you come right to Michigan? Did you go anywhere else first?
I went actually. The first place we went is all the good places. Okay, I landed in Hawaii.
Okay.
Spent few days there because that friend has apartment there, condo, and so we landed there. And he also said, "I want to show you American, the good spots,
Yeah.
Hawaii paradise." So I
Right.
landed there, and then we went to California. I stayed in Los Angeles
Hmm.
for a little bit, and then later I spent some time in uh, Las Vegas. I got married. I married to a Michigan boy. That's what happened.
Okay. And that's
Brought
how
me
you
here.
came here. Yeah.
And
So
yeah,
so you come to Michigan and what was the musical climate like? I mean, I would imagine at that point you had to figure about, well, what do I do? How
yeah.
do I get involved in playing music and where did you start? How did you start?
When I came here, as you know, I said I the because the businessman brought me here, so I was doing actually business. I was away from music for good
Okay.
5 years. So I was away from music for good 5 years around, and
Right.
then I wasn't really happy.
Yeah.
Money wise is better. I made a better living than being a musician, and I wasn't very happy. And every time, like when I'm driving, I feel like when I turn on the radio, I feel my eyebrow opens. I just feel happy. Ah, that was something missing. And plus, um, my then husband is a big music fan. That's why how he brought me to Michigan, because he was very into music. He
Okay.
really loved my playing, and he started, when once I came to Michigan, he said, "Why don't you play?" I said, "Why do I go to play?" So he started putting my flyers out,
Yeah.
and then we started playing in the small bars and coffee houses. So before I know it, I got a call from NGA, the great NGA Detroit treasure.
Right.
She for the Festival of Arts in Detroit.
Right.
So I got to play in the festival. Then my name started going around here.
And it
I got
just
to
grew
play in
from there.
DIA. Yeah. So it just grew from there. And also the same time, we send my CD. Also Ken, my then
Yeah.
husband, he sent my CD to U of M, Professor
Okay.
Dr. Lam, and
At
then
University of Michigan. Yep.
yep. And then now I work there. I teach music ensemble, and I'm faculty in a residential college. So yeah, everything
What
goes.
type of music are you teaching at U of M? Are you teaching traditional Chinese music? Are you teaching
Let's
some?
call the Chinese music ensemble. So
Okay. What I think is unique before we get to that, before we get to play some of these beautiful instruments, um, you really kind of reinvented yourself too a bit, because not only do you play traditional Chinese music, but you also develop kind of a fusion or a rock and roll kind of persona a little bit, right? Like what made you go that route as well? I mean, you're playing traditional instruments, but you're doing some of your own compositions, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah,
and it's kind of a pop rock and roll. What talk about that a little bit?
that also I feel have the root in my heart. I just have that rock bone in me.
Yeah,
If I could say this.
yeah,
And when I was in China, see, far long time ago, when I was in China, when I was in middle school, college, I love to play piano because once we get into the music school, we start studying piano when I was 11 years old.
yeah,
So I practice piano a lot, sometimes more than my own instrument, because I love it. And the
right.
reason also I love the piano itself, also I can accompany myself singing because I love
Okay,
to sing. And and then I had a bunch of friends who is yeah, some are like the very famous Chinese musicians, the pop in the pop series, rock and roll
right,
scene in China at the time. I'm like in my school it's all classical that stuff, but
right.
outside my school, my friend are rock and rollers and those. So and that time Chinese have the starting have the when they opened up the door in the 1980s, they started importing a lots of the CDs.
Wow,
So we got to listen to all that. I what I
that influence.
remembered, like I had a Bjork, I had Led Zeppelin, all that stuff. It was like wow, like Beatles, all that come in. It's like eye-opening for us, and like so I was really into those, and then I was in the recording studios to see the Chinese first generation of rock and roller stuff, doing all that. So I was pretty much in that scene, and that time I also write a piece of music was used on one of the rock and roll series. A producer, very famous producer, the first generation of rock and roll producer,
Okay.
produced a series of a CD. So one of my piece was in that CD.
Yeah.
Okay, then we had a band. I was when I was taking a class in Wayne State, I saw an ad on the board said, okay, female musician wanted, violinist, vocalist, the pianist, or whatever. That's
Ah,
me.
so that was you.
Whatever.
You're the
Well, that's
whatever.
me. So I
Right.
answered the ad, and then we got together. That was Matthews and guitarist. He plays a bluegrass guitar, and then so he said, okay, I had a guy plays a mandolin, Paul Asi, and he's gonna come here.
Oh,
Let's get together, see what's going on. We just jammed up. So we will jam, see what's coming up. So we started
right.
there. So with a three-piece instrumental band,
Yep.
evolving into a full.
It's
You know,
I've seen you perform in this trio, and then I've also seen you
we did.
perform as a soloist, and then
Wow.
doing traditional Chinese music. It's I don't know too many musicians that have been able to make that transition from playing traditional, and I've seen you in the traditional the wardrobe and the costuming, and then Zhao changes into this, you know, Chinese version of Elvis Presley or something, and can really rock the stage with a two-stringed fiddle, basically. And it is quite fun to watch. It's amazing how you've been able to make that transition. So, as I'm looking and talking to you, we see that you've got several instruments in your studio, and we would love to hear you play some of them. Before you do that, can you describe again you talked about the erhu, and that's spelled ERHU, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So that's a Chinese fiddle violin.
Yes.
You said two string.
Two-string
I
violin. Mhm.
do you know what the history is behind that? I mean, how old that I would assume that's an ancient instrument.
Um, Pretty ancient or not too ancient in Chinese eyes.
Okay.
In Chinese eyes, okay, this is about 1500 years old, 1200 to 15.
Yeah,
So not too ancient for
not too
Chinese.
ancient. Okay. What are the other instruments that you play, Zhao?
So um right here I have the Chinese violin. I play the Chinese harp, which is called guzheng. It's 21 string Chinese table harp laying this way.
Yep.
And I have a guqin, which is seven string Chinese table, almost like a pedal steel. You slide all that stuff. That's one of the ancient very ancient instrument. When you see a Chinese ancient painting, that will be this instrument, and the
Okay.
scholar have, the hair up and have the mountains, I have the waters, all that scene.
Right.
That'll be the guqin. So
And that's like calming. I think that's sort
very
of like
calming,
calming,
very
very,
quiet.
very quiet
It's
music.
really is just like a playing for yourself. That instrument is self-entertain instrument. But I did it. What I did is today for our purpose also, I have an amp so you'll be able to hear it. Also, when I put an amp, I can play the old ancient, very old instrument with the rock band.
Oh, so
So
can you play all? I mean, I know you play the erhu with your rock and roll band. You could
yes,
play those two other instruments with the group
yes.
as well.
Yes, and then
Wow.
I play the Chinese pear-shaped lute, which is same family with the ancient, wood.
Yeah.
It is actually from the Middle East,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that
There's a
fits.
lot of similarities between
Yeah,
music from the Middle East and music from Asia, I notice. And
yeah,
I'm sure there's a lot of crossover
yeah.
um, with that. Well, so
Ah,
you're gonna play some of these for us now, right?
yes. Okay. So the erhu is a two-string Chinese violin. I have this little small box, sound box, and this size is a python skin. Now they're making man-made python skin, so without with the all the animal rights and stuff. So now it's
Right.
a little sound box here, and a tiny bridge here that separates the string, two strings set on them in
Yeah.
between, and then it's the bow. So the
What type
bow
of
is
what type of wood?
the bowl, oh, this wood is a sandalwood. So you use basically the older the redwood family, the
Yeah.
better. The older the wood is better. Same with the violin. And this is sandalwood, this particular one.
Okay.
And there's a two string and then two tuning packs here. And the bow is made of a bamboo. It's not a wood. So the bow is a bamboo and horsehair.
Yeah.
Sounds very ancient.
Can't be hard to tune 2 strings, is it?
No, not too hard to tune. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's tuned in D and A normally, but we have a different range of erhu also. So
Okay.
the
Will you
most
play a little?
common one is the one.
Great. Will you play a little bit for us?
Yeah, so.
Beautiful.
Next one we'll be playing this harp, 古筝.
Good.
Okay.
Xiao, those are fantastic instruments, and your playing is remarkable, and it's very relaxing. All of those instruments. So thank you for being on our program today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I can't wait to watch for more of you and see you play live. And so, folks, You got to watch Xiao Dong Wei. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Michigan Creates. For more information about our podcast series, I invite you to visit michigancreates.net.